Hello traders and welcome back to my YouTube channel, IPDATrader. Now in today's video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different than what you're used to seeing in this channel. We're not going to be talking about any forex pair in particular. We're going to be focusing on the crypto market, okay? More specifically, we're going to be talking a little bit about Bitcoin. And what we're going to be doing over here is fairly simple, okay? We're just going to be conducting some sort of higher time frame to lower time frame analysis, giving you sort of my perspective and ideas on this market, because once again, everything that I teach you in this channel, right, in terms of the concepts, when we talk about liquidity, when we talk about points of interest, when we talk about structured timing, all that, that all applies across every single market, because that's really how the markets book and deliver. So we're just simply going to be talking a little bit about that, right? My perspective on Bitcoin, what I believe is likely to happen, and what are things you need to be taken into consideration if you're going to be trying to either trade the market, right? Because once again, you have the ability of day trading Bitcoin, which I honestly, if you know what you're doing, you can be extremely profitable with that because it does really move a lot. So there's plenty of opportunity. But you also need to be very careful because it's extremely volatile. It can go up and down very fast. So you want to be sort of very comfortable with what you're doing in that sense over there. Okay. So with all that being said, guys, let's actually get started discussing a little bit of Bitcoin, right? And let's actually go ahead and do that. So traders, let's actually remove all of the drawings over here and let's actually start by looking at the weekly time frame. Okay, so we're looking at the weekly time frame, right? And we're going to be taking into consideration everything that we see over here, okay? I can safely identify and say that this was a previous high, right? We had some sort of structure like this. We return back down to the origin, just like I always teach, right? We return over here, we move up once again, right? And we enter sort of this amazing big bullish phase in the market. So we understand that. Let's now focus a little bit on the most recent price action over here, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of context, okay? This is where it started. We moved up, made a new high, return back down to the origin block, move up once again, create a new higher high, right? Over here. So let's remove the drawings, let's zoom into the daily, and we have some pretty clean market structure to work with, right? It's extremely easy to read. If you're looking at a structure like this, you should understand that this is your most recent break, right? If you're looking at this time frame, we just had this high get taken out, making a new higher high over here on November 10th, 2021. So after that occurred, right? After we make a new high, sellers jump back in, push price down into a better demanded area, whether that is this block over here, we have another block over here, and we have another block over here. So these are potential buy areas, right? Because once again, if you're looking at the structure develop over here, you should understand and very easily deduct that a new higher high was recently established, and hence there's no surprise we're currently dropping, right? Reason being is because we're looking for that better demanded area that is going to then shift the market structure back bullish, right? If you're looking at this structure play. But here is where a little bit of confusion actually comes into play, okay? Because if I'm looking at this logically, let's actually move into a little bit of a lower time frame. Let's go into the 12-hour. Let's actually go into the 18-hour over here. You should be able to understand that, hey guys, we do have some very solid liquidity laying over here, right? If you look at this, you have plenty of equal lows. You have some sort of trendline liquidity being built. Same thing over here, right? You always need to be paying attention to liquidity pools. So you know that liquidity is laying below this area. So with that being said, right, expecting a move of this sort, especially when you partner that with market cycles, and I'm not going to be getting very in depth into that, but you have plenty of online resources about that idea, so feel free to turn around, walk around, and sort of find that for yourself. Okay, so we're looking at this, and if you take that into consideration, right, once again, liquidity laying over here, market cycle, in mind, we could see something of this sort, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we actually clear all this liquidity, hit a specific demanded point. Maybe over here you can see a block, right? Once again, you have a bearish candle in here, so you can see a block. Same thing over here, right? We could be tapping into any of these areas over here, taking all that liquidity out, stopping the average retail trader out of their positions. Now they see the market over here. They're going to be too scared to buy it back up, right? And this is where you want to get involved. And once again, this is only if this liquidity is going to be taken, okay? If not, then let's remove the drawings and let's see the alternative, right? If this liquidity is going to be saved for a future point in time, right? Whatever it may be, then once again, we're at a very interesting spot, okay? Let's actually grab the tool. Let's conduct some serious analysis over here, right? Let's see. You'd say to yourself, hey, this is my most recent break. This is my expansion. This is likely to be a retracement. Now, where is it going to stop? Once again, we're hitting this block, right? And let me actually draw that out. We're hitting this block, and then you can see we're already mitigating that, okay? We've already tapped into that liquid action away from that. We're sort of coming back down slowly, but there is a probability that we're not going to be breaking below this wick, right? If this is going to be the mitigation low, and that's those ideas and concepts that I teach more in depth in my private mentorship. So if you're interested in that, you can always check the link in the description. It will redirect you over there very easily, okay? So with all that being said, guys, there is a probability that we're not going to be getting below this wick once again, because this is the mitigation low, and this is, if we grab the fib, as I always teach you over here, right? If you grab your fib tool, you should be able to understand that, hey, this POI over here, and once again, you can refine that to this block. You can use the entire zone. You can wait for a little bit of a lower refinement, whatever you want to do, right? You have complete freedom in that sense. So as I was saying, if we grab the fib, we place that from bottom to top, you should understand that this POI over here is well discounted, okay? So there is a probability that this is going to be the shift point in order to continue back bullish. However, once again, we can also trade back into this block over here, right? Even this block, whatever you want to do. I would probably use some sort of zone like this. And you say to yourself, hey, this is once again the origin of the swing, right? Which previously mitigated a block. So a last point of true mitigation. If you look at this wick over here, right? And I've said this plenty of times, but let me actually repeat it. A wick like this, where it's pretty exaggerated, you can anticipate and you can safely say, if you understand the fractal nature of the market, like just like this wick over here, this is a move down and a aggressive move up on a lower time frame. So what is this? This is an order block, right? Sell into buy order block. That wick represents this idea on a lower time frame. So with that idea in mind, guys, let's move all that. Let's go over here. With that idea in mind, you can safely say that this is a last point of true mitigation over here, right? So you might find out that we're not going to be getting below that low unless, once again, and this is where the liquidity aspect comes into play, unless we're going to be cleaning all this liquidity, because once again, we have we have equal lows, so we have sell stops, buy stops all across this area. So that is essentially liquidity, and this market is no different than the forex market. The same thing applies over here, okay? Let's actually look for more information. Once again, looking at the imbalance idea that I always teach, right? You have imbalances over here. You know that this bit of price action is likely to get mirrored to the right. What do we see? It gets mirrored, right? You have a clean move up, you get a clean move down. Same idea applies, okay? Because if this is going to be only buy-side liquidity, you know that the market needs to be balanced out. So at some point in time, this is going to be offered as sell side. And this is exactly what you get over there, okay? Because once again, we need to have the market balanced out. So let's once again remove some of that, because I don't like my charts to be that messy. And let's actually take a second and denote the structure points that you might want to be working with if you're looking at Bitcoin from a little bit of a longer term perspective. Okay, if you zoom into a lower time frame, you may find buys and sells everywhere, right? You look at something of this sort, you understand this is a block, you see the mitigation, you move lower, we break some sort of internal structure, we mitigate into discounted area, we hit a block over here, and now we're on our way down. Where are we going to be moving? Probably into this wick, and then we might shift higher or not. Okay, there is a probability we might shift higher over here, and we're not going to be ever getting below this low, and we're going to be on our way to a new higher high on a higher time frame. Okay, so those are ideas and things you want to be paying attention to. But once again, we're focusing on a little bit of the longer term perspective and play. So let's actually take a second. Let's denote the structure points over here, right? Fairly simple. We have this over here as the previous high, higher low, higher high. Great. Bullish market, right? You should understand we are in a bullish market. Now we're retracing. We're hitting this block right over here, right? So another point of interest may be actually for some of you, let's do something like this where you have a little bit of a refinement and we drag that across. So those are buy price points that you want to be paying attention. Okay, if you want to be buying this, if you want to be buying Bitcoin and holding for longer term plays, then you might find that, hey, buying between 44K and sort of 40K is going to be a good idea if you actually have some sort of confirmation developed, because once again, the same thing will apply as the forex market. Okay, you will see the same ideas, and let me actually refresh some of those. Right, you have a point of interest, price comes back down, taps into that, we engineer liquidity, we grab that, we move away, we shift momentum, we then take buys, and we continue higher, because the same ideas will continuously apply, because that's how the markets deliver and book. Okay, every single market, you can use the same ideas in the stock market, you can use the same ideas in the crypto market and in the forex market, right? Whatever market it may be, it will work. So fortunately, I've removed the fib. Let me add it back right here. So we now understand that these are potential buy areas, okay? And an expectation for yourself could be something of this sort, right? We get a tab, maybe we never get below this wick, right? Because once again, this is the current mitigation low, so we might actually move up over there, or we might actually move lower into the origin block, right? And you can denote that for yourself. You can say to yourself, hey, this is the origin block. As price is hitting this block, there is a very high probability that A, we're going to be seeing mitigations away, right? We tap that, we move away, or B, we're going to be rather mitigating a little bit of that and then dropping lower, because once again, we do have liquidity over here. This is what's confusing me at this point. If this was not such a clear liquidity pool, I would tell you, hey, 100% we're going to be hitting either this block, or this block, and we're going to be continuing up and making a new higher high, because once again, that's what the structure is telling you right at this point. There is no reason to believe that we're going to be going all the way down in terms of structure, okay? That's important. Now, when we talk about liquidity, we do have that liquidity pool over here. So probability number two, right, in terms of what to expect in this market could be something of this sort, right? We have better demanded price points just a little bit below that, such as this block over here, right, between 24 and 21K, and this block over here, okay? So these are areas that may actually want to get tapped if we are going to be clearing all this liquidity. If this liquidity is going to be holding, then by all means, right, we're going to be probably tapping into this block and making a new higher high, or we're going to be tapping into the origin block and making a new higher high. So those are potential expectations, guys. And as you can see, you can once again apply the multi-time frame analysis ideas, but since we're focusing on a little bit of a longer term play, then we're sticking to the daily mostly, right? So at the end of the day, it's up to you how you want to be viewing this market, okay? Because once again, you can do the same thing over here, right? You can say to yourself, hey, this is a break. Let me actually, where's my tool? There we go. So you can say to yourself, this is a break. If we return back here, we hit some blocks over here, we may actually continue dropping lower. So it's dependent on your approach, okay? For me, if I'm looking at a little bit of a longer term play, and once again with historical data in mind, such as the previous high mitigation and higher high continuation, I can expect the same thing to unfold and occur, right? There's no reason for me to get confused with that. It's very easy and clean to read market structure. The issue becomes when you're taking liquidity into consideration and you are understanding that, hey, this is a huge liquidity pool. Okay, there is a lot of money below these price points over here that may actually want to be grabbed before continuing the moves up. So those are things that you want to understand extremely well, right? So guys, excuse me for that. I think that's going to be it for this video, right? We discussed some ideas. We understood the structure play that we're working with, right? Which once again, I don't know why anyone would be confused with this when this is extremely easy to read. We have a high, higher low, boom, higher high, bullish structure. We break above that, so you know retracement is coming, because once again, we've just established a new structural point over here, okay? That's huge. That's massive. That takes billions of dollars to actually accomplish a move like this in the crypto market, okay? So we make a new higher high, we retrace. We're currently approaching better demanded zones. We've been filling inefficiencies on the way down, which is extremely good. We've actually engineered liquidity on the way down as well on a little bit of a lower time frame, right? What is this? This is a trend line for retail traders, right? Retail traders are saying to themselves, hey, trend line over here, let's buy, right? People buy over here, they get taken out extremely easily. We move into a better demanded zone, right? And once again, I'm not saying this is the one that's going to hold, but it's going to be either this one, or this one. And if none of them are going to be holding, then we're going to be clearing all this liquidity, right? And then we're going to be tapping into these areas over here, most likely. And if we do so, I will be gladly taking buy positions right over here and right over here for the long term. Because once again, if you're looking at the higher time frame perspective, this market, even though we don't have that much data, is extremely bullish, right? There's no reason for you to believe that, hey, now we're going to be going all the way down. No. No, absolutely not. I would actually be interested in getting into buy positions over here. And if you once again look at the ideas of market cycle, you might want to be expecting a sweep of liquidity below these price points over here, because once again, we do have a tons of buy stops and sell stops resting above and below these price points over here. So seeing a tab into that would not be crazy to expect. And if we break below those price points over there, sell areas may actually be valid, right? Such as this one over here. You can expect that, hey, if we start ranging over here, which is a probability, right? We tap that, we move all the way up. We might want to be looking for this area over here, because this actually broke internal structure over here, right? So there is a probability that that high is going to be holding for quite a bit of time until we come back here, tap back down, maybe mitigate that block, and then continue up. So you can see there's countless of opportunities and ideas that you can sort of justify for yourself in terms of taking positions. It's up to what's comfortable for you, what do you think is likely to happen, and how do I execute on that, okay? So those are things you want to be paying attention to when looking at a crypto market. And the concepts that I teach here, once again, apply to each and every single market. So don't get it twisted. It's very easy to apply. It's just about reading what's happening in the charts and creating a narrative once again for yourself. So with all that information being said, guys, I really do hope this provided you some insight. Once again, let me know if you actually enjoy videos about crypto stuff and things, because I can provide those, right? I do have some knowledge and information. So if you actually want to see more content of this sort, feel free to comment that in the down below in the video, like, subscribe, whatever it may be, so that I know that, hey, my audience likes seeing stuff like this, and I can optimize the videos that I'm going to be presenting to you, okay? So with all that being said, guys, I wish you all good and profitable trading. I will see you guys very soon. And I wanted to thank you everyone for your amazing support and for continuously watching my videos and supporting my channel. So thank you very much, guys, and I will see you guys very soon.